How to start your Monday morning. Start the fire, boil the water, grind the coffee, add filter, coffee in the filter, water into filter, watch it drip, more water, watch it drip some more, fill your cup, raise your cup, and no. Leave the house and leave it up to the professionals to make the coffee. I'll stick to the conversations. Welcome to Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen. Hey, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Caffeinated Conversations. I'm Brooke Allen. Thank you for being with us, of course, wearing green today because it is St. Patrick's Day. And, I don't know how your weekend was, but for me, I woke up Saturday, no voice. Seriously, I could not talk. The kids were like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I mean, my throat, nothing hurt." It was the weirdest thing. So I got past that on Saturday. So that was good. This is Lisa Haynes, by the way. We'll introduce her in just a second. But yesterday we went to church and we went to lunch and we were at the Big Boy. And, I talk about my grandparents all the time. In fact, my grandfather was a huge reason why I started the show. And there was this elderly gentleman sitting there having breakfast by himself. So the twins looked at me and they said, "You're going to do it, right?" And I'm like, "Okay, we're going to pick up his check." So we picked up that check. So then there was an elderly woman who was seated. And so she was in the far corner. So then Carson looks at me and he's like, "You know what you got to do, right?" And I'm like, "Yep, I guess I'm picking up that check too."
Wow.
So then, I'm not done yet. So then there was this family that walked in and they didn't look, they weren't really talking. They weren't really engaging. It just looked like they were just out to breakfast. And so then Daisy looks at me and she's like, "They don't look happy." And I said, "Well, you never know what people are going through, right?" And so then she says, "Okay, you're picking up that check, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes." So I picked up that check too. So long story short, I spent like $200 at Big Boy yesterday. But here's the deal. I had asked each table if I could have a picture with them. And in retrospect, I should have never done that. And the kids were actually upset with me because they said, "You're not supposed to do good and then want attention for it." And I was like, "Okay, that really wasn't what I was doing. I wanted," because they were smiling after this. After the server told them that we had done this, they were smiling and there was a definite change. But the way my kids perceived me was, "Oh, mom just wants a picture so she can post you all over social media." So you know what? I felt really bad about that, honestly. I was like, "You know what? I should never have asked that. If they wanted to, they would have asked me." And so I apologized to them. But it was funny. My kids are 13 and they both, they wanted to do something good. They wanted to pick up those tabs. And then they were upset with me because I had said I wanted a picture. And last night, I have to say, I was like a little embarrassed that I had done that. So the good thing about that, I guess, is that each table said, "You know what? I will pay it forward. I will pay it forward one day." And the family, the mom walked up to me and she said, "Nobody has ever done that for us. Um, thank you so much." So it was good intent. Might be maybe a little bit of selfishness on my part by the picture thing. I don't know, but I just felt like I felt like I needed to talk about that. Because you try to pay it forward, you try to make people happy. And, whenever I see an elderly person by themselves on a Sunday, it breaks my heart. And you don't know their story, but I'm always like, "Okay, what can I do?" So, so that was yesterday. So I found my voice back. I got my voice back.
Okay.
Insulted my children.
You didn't insult them.
I didn't insult them, but I guess we all learned a lesson, right? Okay. So that was my weekend. Lisa Haynes, how was your weekend?
How was my weekend? Oh boy, it was busy.
Yeah.
We are opening up a show. So yesterday was our last rehearsal before we go to the theater.
Okay.
And then spent some time with the hubs
Awesome. Love
and
that.
the pups. And this week is going to be slam jam
Thank you, ma'am.
packed. I almost said it. Thank you, ma'am. Packed full of stuff. It's going to be busy.
Okay, so the show you're talking about is the Bucket List of the Booze Club.
Bucket List of Booze Club.
Yes,
Yep.
written by a local playwright.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yep. Maureen Paraventi.
Yes, and this is I have seen it before.
Okay.
So this is your first time
Yes.
being in it.
Yes.
To break down the story for us.
Okay. So the story is about four women who are childhood friends and how their relationship changes over the years and how they are there for each other now. And it is also a beautiful story about a mother and daughter
Mhm.
and their bond, and also how that daughter considers her mother's friends like her aunts,
Mhm.
right? Because you grow up together. And just how these women's lives change, how they're there for each other, and how they support each other, which is something I think women in general are not always good at
Correct.
until we hit our age. Then we realize who we
Hey,
want in our lives and who we
exactly.
don't.
And we can be more selective.
We
I
can.
think that's part of it,
Yes. And
right?
there's no guilt in saying bye bye.
No, definitely not.
No,
No.
no.
So, okay, so this story, there's also an underlying theme
Yeah.
because Colette,
Colette.
Colette has cancer.
She has cancer.
And I don't want to be a spoiler alert, but so she's dealing with this illness.
She's dealing with this illness, and we think that the treatments are working until we find out they aren't. And just how she dealt with it. She didn't deal with it well at first. And
Mhm.
she says that in the show. She talks about how she didn't really quite go through her stages of grief. She kind of got stuck on
Stuck.
pissed off. Yeah. And just how the ladies are there to support. It's hard dealing with cancer in
Mhm.
general. But when you have a close knit group, then how do you support each other? And how do you support your friend's child?
Mhm.
And
Because Riri is the daughter, right?
Riri is the
Okay, so
daughter.
Riri's the daughter, and there's kind of a conflict with the Colette
Hmm.
and the attorney friend,
Yeah, Jen.
Jen. Okay,
Hmm.
because Riri's pretty close to Jen.
Yeah, because she's her godmother,
Okay,
as well as, that Jen is her aunt,
like that cool aunt,
that
right?
cool aunt that
Yes.
we all hope to
Yes.
be. Yes. So, Riri's really close with her. And as Colette is realizing that her mortality may not be as long as she was hoping, she starts to realize that her friends are going to be there for her daughter and she will not.
Mm.
And how do you,
Reconcile that?
yeah,
Yeah.
how do you come to terms with that? It's difficult to go through cancer and think, ugh, and how do you reconcile? So,
Okay, so now I'm going, and I have your permission to talk
yes,
about this.
hmm
So you have had cancer twice,
twice.
breast cancer.
Yeah, so lucky. Not only did I get it once, I got it twice. Yes,
You had a double mastectomy the first time.
I did. I had ductal carcinoma in situ in my left breast, and so I had a double mastectomy. And then 14 years, 11 months, and 2 weeks later, I was re-diagnosed again with invasive carcinoma in the same breast.
Mhm.
And a lot of people are like, well, wait, you had a double mastectomy. How do you get it again? Well, you know, uh, I didn't think I would, but even when they do the mastectomy, they don't get 100% of breast tissue. You get as much as you can, right? That you can see.
Mhm.
And so just a little spot decided to rear its ugly head. And my dog literally sniffed it out first. And then I got tested and there it was. And so we had a surgery again
Right.
and went
And
through,
we should say this process, I mean, you have been going through this process. I
yeah,
mean,
currently.
yeah,
Hmm.
currently. So this is a current situation and you're
Yes.
doing the show.
Yes.
And I can imagine, I mean, me just trying to talk about it, I'm imagining it from your point. And how is that for you?
This show has been my saving grace. It has helped me close this cancer chapter for me.
Mhm.
When I auditioned, I was still going through radiation, so I didn't have a lot of hair. I was wearing a cap, and now
I
it's
love your hair.
it's growing back now. I'm digging it.
Twinsies. No.
Twinsies. I don't think I'll ever. I don't know if I'll ever grow it out. Like, because it was
It
long
was long.
before,
Yeah.
really long.
Yeah.
But no, going through it now, especially when one of my castmates went through breast cancer as well. And then a third castmate has experience with cancer as well. So it's been one of those, when we first started running through the script, the tears wouldn't stop. Now my heart is full.
Okay.
Um, and it's helped. It's helped with some healing for sure. And throughout my cancer journey, I've always put everything on my Facebook page. And
Mhm.
it wasn't because I want to be like, look at me, I have cancer. It was more to educate other people about what cancer can do and
Mhm.
can't do to you, and how you just have to kind of run through it and look for those that are your support and just,
And you're a
be
nurse.
strong. And I'm a
You're a
nurse. I
nurse,
know too much, which is
which
bad.
is probably super bad,
It
right?
is.
Yeah,
Sometimes, when they say ignorance is bliss,
yeah,
it truly is. When you know too much, like when I first thought, oh, I might have cancer, and everyone was like, oh, no. I'm like, I'm a nurse. I know what's
you
going
know,
on.
right.
Yeah. But no, this show has been a blessing. And I think it's another way to show that even when you're going through it,
Mhm,
if you have your people, it'll be okay.
right.
It'll be okay.
So we're going to backtrack for a minute because
Okay.
you and I have an interesting, I mean, there's so many like kind of moments, right?
Yeah.
Um, so I love to act and I don't do it very often, but one of the first shows that I auditioned for
Hmm.
was before COVID
Yeah.
and Don't Drink the Water.
Yeah.
And you were the AD.
Uh-huh.
And I remember you telling me about, because I was still anchoring at Jay, and you were telling me your son,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Your son
Yeah.
loves DJing and broadcasting and all of that. And I
Yeah.
was going to have him come to the station.
Yeah.
And of course, the show got shut down by COVID,
Yeah.
which is just now, I mean, we just passed the 5-year anniversary, I
Can you
think, of
believe it?
it's craziness,
Yes.
right?
Hmm.
So, so that show got canceled. And so we never, I still have the t-shirt.
That's good.
That was about it,
Yeah.
right? Um, but then as the years progressed, of course, nobody saw each other for a long time.
Right.
But then we ran into each other
A couple years ago.
a couple years ago, auditioning for another show,
Another show.
right?
Yep.
And it was my birthday.
Yes.
And we went and we had lunch
Hmm.
and we were sitting outside. It was one of those beautiful fall days,
Oh my
remember?
God, it was
It was
beautiful.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I said to you, you know what? I think I'm going to start my own podcast.
Yes.
And you were like, that's a good idea.
Well, of course, because
Right,
I love
right,
this kind of media.
right.
So
But
yeah.
but you were, again, one of the first people who, were just sitting there having lunch. You got the call that you had gotten cast during that
Yes.
lunch. I was so
Yes.
glad.
Yeah.
I did not. I was sad.
It's very
I
sad.
was so
Because we
sad.
were so wanted
I
to do
know,
this
right?
together. Yeah.
But you know what? But it was okay because there was so much going on. But that being said, it's so funny how you connect with people at different moments in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't see each other very often,
No.
but we feel like we do because of social media, right?
Right.
But it has just been amazing because you've always been one of my biggest cheerleaders. And you'll message me and text me and be like, "Hey, girl, good job," or "You
Mm-hmm.
go," or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I hope you have felt uh, that I've supported you.
Oh, absolutely.
Even though I didn't bring you a meal or anything.
You didn't need to.
Okay,
It was okay.
so
Yeah.
let's talk about people acknowledging when somebody is going through a difficult time and what people need
Yeah.
people to do for you.
So I think that's hard. Everyone deals with health news, not so great health news, right? Differently. When we first found out, it was actually my daughter who was with me. We found out. So we told immediate family first.
Mhm.
And then I said to my husband, I don't want to reach out to the world. With all of our connections, can you? So he started to reach out to a few people. And then we kept it quiet for a bit until I had a plan, until I knew exactly what kind of cancer I had. And then I started texting a few friends and I went, oh my God, forget this. There's too many people.
Mhm.
So I went on Facebook and announced it that way and said, well, guess what's come back? And it's interesting the way people react. Some are like, oh my God, immediately private messages, phone calls, right? Some did little likes and little hearts.
Mhm.
Some you don't hear from at all. And I think with cancer, whenever you have something like that in your life that just rocks you to your core, right? That's when you find out who are your people
Mhm.
and who are your not people. Who are those superficial folks that now you're just going to be like, oh, hey, and that's it. You really figure out who your tribe is.
Mhm.
And overwhelmed. The emotions that I felt during that, because I put it out there so I didn't have to text 1,000 people all at
Right.
once to say, this is it. I also put it on it because I am a huge, huge supporter of Gilda's Club, which is here in Royal Oak. And I run a support group there called Bosom Buddies for anyone who's been impacted by breast cancer. And I think a lot of people are scared when it comes to cancer, breast cancer, anything. They think it's one thing, but really it's another. So it was my way of saying, okay, go through this voyage with me. But there were some people I didn't hear from. Some were family, some were folks that I thought I was close with. And it's okay. now I see people, like I see you, right? You know, so when
Right.
people show you who they are, believe them.
Right.
Oh yeah, had lots of come to Jesuses, I'll tell you,
Okay,
but it's okay.
but what about the people who don't know what to say?
All I need is a hug. Okay, so what do
Okay,
you
so
say?
there it
So
is.
okay, I see where
There,
you're going with that.
yes, there it
So
is.
what happens if someone says that they're diagnosed? What do you
Mhm.
do?
You have to do something rather than nothing.
Give them a hug.
Right.
I love you. If you're going to say to someone, you get this a lot. Oh, if you need me, let me know.
No.
No. When we're going through cancer, we're not thinking about really anyone else but ourselves and our immediate, our children, our husband, like those immediate
Mhm.
people. We are not going to reach out. We're not going to text you and go, hey,
Can you
can
pick
you?
up groceries?
Yes. So don't say that.
Say what you're going to do. Right?
And though some people do it, but they're like, I just want them to know. And I'm like, and that's great. So if you're going to say that, then follow up a week later. Hey, I'm headed to the grocery store. What can
What
I
do you
get
need?
you? Or talk to someone else who's had that same kind of cancer and go, what is it you needed?
Hmm.
Because I will tell people, I've done that before. Like, what does someone need? Well, if they're going through a double mastectomy, get them pajamas that button up so they don't have to lift their arms.
Hmm.
Get them hand cream. Get them lemon
Hmm.
hard candies. Like, there are things you can do.
Right.
You don't have to bring a meal, but just texting someone, just thinking of you, checking in, that is huge.
Mhm.
It doesn't always have to be a phone call because when we're going through chemo, we don't really want to talk to anyone, right?
Right.
We kind of just want to get through that. It's rough.
Mhm.
I highly don't recommend it for anyone. I mean, if you were thinking it was on your bucket list, it should
It
not
should not
be.
be.
No.
It should not be on your bucket list.
No, it should not.
But if it happens to be on your list,
Yes.
then this is what you need to do.
Yeah. If you're the person going through it, if someone says I need something, tell them exactly what you need. I love that. Can you get me groceries or can you pick me up some? I have a friend, Amy
Mhm.
Weber, who I adore, who checked on me and brought me these amazing popsicles.
Oh, I remember your post about that.
Yeah, so she brought me popsicles, a new brand I'd never tried before that were amazing. So every time I go through chemo, she's like, "How's the popsicle storage?" I'm like, "I'm good, I'm good."
Awesome.
But like bringing popsicles, a meal, just checking in.
Mhm.
That's the big thing. And like you said, oh, I'm sorry if I wasn't there for you. You were there for me because I got little notes,
Mhm.
or I knew that you were thinking of me. I would see your posts. So you don't actually, it doesn't have to cost a thing. Just check in on someone. How was chemo this week? I'm thinking of you. But don't expect them to reach out to you to tell you what they need
Mhm.
when they're going through the hardest time in their life. Just anticipate. Drop off a little potted flower with a little note that says, thinking of you.
Or maybe a shamrock plant that's
Yes.
not doing so well.
Or maybe a shamrock plant, but you have to you have to water it. You can't let it die. Poor Ian McPlant. We've named it.
Okay, in my defense, last week it was really beautiful.
Yeah, but you can't water it once a week.
Okay, so this has been driving you crazy.
It
So water
has.
the damn plant.
We're gonna water the plant
Because
Danica
Danica has said that it will perk up by the end of the show, right?
Yeah, we're gonna bring this over here just so I don't dump.
All right.
But Ian
okay.
McPlant is as dry as a saltine cracker.
He's crunchy.
It's okay, baby. Let's water.
Okay,
Yum,
there was
yum,
a
yum,
I
yum.
posted a picture on social media today. It was beautiful.
It's right
that was
here.
Just yesterday.
But right now it's going. Wait, hold on.
Wait, there's two blooms.
Right here.
There it is. See?
Treat me, Seymour. It's so dry. It's hysterical. Oh, there we go. Yum, yum, yum.
All
So
right.
let's get over
All
here.
right.
Wait,
so
wait.
we're gonna.
There we go.
See?
They took a whole bottle of water. It was so thirsty. Oh, wait.
Go ahead. They're like they want to clap. They're like, please water the plant.
Ian McPlant has now got water.
Exactly. There. Oh.
Hey!
Oh gosh.
There we go. You're supposed to catch that.
All right.
young
So
man.
you feel
Okay.
okay.
I feel
You
better.
feel better now?
I've done
okay.
my good deed
All right.
for the
You've
day.
done your good deed.
Yes.
Okay. So you've done that. Okay. Let's get back to back. Oh,
Yeah.
actually, no. I want to stay on this topic for another
Yeah.
minute. So, okay, you've said how people can support the actual person going
Mhm.
through the treatment.
Mhm.
What about the kids, the husbands,
Huge.
the support system who's
Yeah.
on your front line? What can people do to help them?
Take the husband out for a beer and a burger.
Yeah.
That's when I went through it the first time. I remember reaching out to some of my husband's friends and I'm like, get him out of the house.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, a spouse or a significant other, all they're going to want to do is be there 24/7 and help support that person. And it can get to be a lot on them, especially if your significant other tries to be stoic all the time
Mm,
and be like, I have to be the rock,
right.
right? So getting them out, I think when you bring meals, you're actually taking care of the whole
Yeah,
family,
for
right?
sure.
If someone that has diagnosis of cancer has got young children, take them to the zoo, get them out of the house. That happened the first time. My kids were 4 and 6 the first time I went through cancer. And I had some cousins who took them to the zoo
Mhm.
or just got them out of the house.
Right.
Because seeing mom like that, even though I put up a really brave front back then,
Mm.
although my son knew better, every time I'd be like, I'm fine. And he'd be like,
Was he the older one or
the
younger?
older one.
Older
He's the
one.
one that's
He's
going
the
into
one, yeah.
multimedia journalism.
Yes.
He is my empath.
Okay.
And he could always tell. He's like, but you're in pain. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Uh-uh.
No, I'm not in pain. And he's
Oh.
like, yes, you are.
Oh.
Where my little girl, who is now a sophomore at Michigan State, she just,
Oh, I'm wearing green for her.
you are, go green,
Go white.
go white. So she was funny because she was young.
Thank you. Thanks for
She understood
having
what was
me.
going on, but the only thing she
Thank
was
you.
concerned with is what was happening up here.
Hi, how's it going?
And she would go like this. She was so funny. She was 4 years old.
Right.
Now, going through it the second time, she was the person that was right there with me when I got the diagnosis.
Okay.
So she has turned into she's my little mama,
Mhm.
right? So she took care of me. She checked in on me. They both wanted to be there, but they were in school. And I'm like, don't you dare come home they don't need to see chemo, mom. Like,
Okay.
no. They get to see radiation, mom, which was a better mom.
A better mom?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay, I'm going to ask you 2 questions.
okay,
All right.
go.
The first one
Yes.
is, if you were to meet your younger self for coffee, what would you say?
You mean about cancer or just in general?
Just in general. Because cancer is not you.
No, cancer is not you. It becomes you. And we talk about that in the play.
Mhm.
It's not me. Oh, if I saw younger Lisa, I would tell her, stop trying so hard, girl. Stop chasing. Stop
Mhm.
chasing them. I think that's one thing as women, we want to be liked so much. So I think I would tell her, you're amazing just the way you are and stop trying so hard.
Do you tell your daughter that?
I've been telling her that since she was little,
Mhm.
and she doesn't. She is this amazing young woman who knows exactly who she is, and she's the one that reminds me, like, no, mom, you don't need that. Like, she is brilliant. So I'd say, stop trying so. Just be you, because you is great. Don't put down your shimmer. You know, I think that's something when you go through your 30s and 40s, you think you have to mold to the people you're with, like
Mhm.
you have to mold to your surroundings, and you stop being yourself. And I lost myself for about 15 years. I was trying to be what I thought other people wanted. And going through this journey again, I told someone this the other day. I go, I feel like I've been reborn, not in a religious sense,
Mhm.
but in oh, there you are. I
Mhm.
missed you.
Right.
And as my director, who is here with us, would tell
Yes,
you,
Eileen.
I have some crazy energy, and I found her again. She's back, and
And is she Amy?
no.
No? Okay.
Well, she's Amy in the fact
The
that
character that you play.
yeah. So Amy is a nurturer and takes care of everyone else but herself. Yes, that's where I am. But Amy in this show is more of a housewife, and oh, okay. Where Lisa is right? Lisa is, I'm a lion in the fact that, like a mother lion, like I take care of my people. I am passionate about that. Don't mess with my people.
Mm-hmm.
That I like to take care of others who need it. Like I help with Gilda's. I'm a nurse. So I found my fire again, and I'm not apologizing anymore. I am who I am. If you don't like it,
See ya.
see ya.
High
I
five.
have plenty of people in my corner. I don't need anything else. So
Okay.
question number 2.
All right. Question number 2
Mhm.
is, what's on your bucket list?
To go to Malta.
Okay.
That's where my dad's family is from, and I think we're going to go next summer. How many bucket list items do I get?
You know what? We've got a few minutes. You
Okay.
do 3.
All right. So Malta is the first one, going
Okay.
to Malta. The second one is to jump out of a perfectly good plane and
Oh,
parachute.
that's one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah, you've done it.
Yes, I did it with the Golden Knights at the air show years
Okay,
ago,
okay.
and it was so funny. I'm afraid of heights. Go figure. And I had called my mom. They called the studio the night before on a Saturday, and said, "Hey, we need a reporter to jump out of this plane." And I'm like, "Sign me up." The kids were little. They were like 2.5.
Oh my gosh.
And so I left them notes on the table and like, "In case I don't come back, I love
In
you."
case one of them goes splat on the
So
earth.
so I'm like, "I love you." So I left those on the table. We go to the show.
Uh-huh.
Obviously I'm here, so it's good, right?
Right.
But it was the funniest thing. I had called my mom and I said, "Hey, I'm gonna jump out of a plane," on her voicemail. So she calls me literally as the plane is like going in the air.
Mhm.
And she's like, "What's that noise?" And I'm like, "I gotta go. I'm jumping with the Army Golden Knights." And she's like,
Oh my gosh.
"What?"
Oh my gosh.
We got disconnected.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that, I mean, seriously, I literally, I will not drive over bridges. I am so afraid of heights, but I will jump out of a plane any day of the week.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do it.
Okay.
And
I'll
you
do it with you if you want.
oh
Well,
my God. Now
yes.
that would be fun.
Yes.
We could have
Yes.
a courageous
Right.
courageous conversation. We could have a caffeinated conversation while
air.
we're flying.
Right, exactly.
So that's one. Another one is to put something together, whether it's social media or whatever, just helping folks deal with cancer,
Okay.
especially breast cancer. I mean, I run a support group at Gilda's, which I love.
Okay, so how often is that?
That's every month. It's the second Wednesday of every month
And
at Gilda's in Royal Oak.
Okay, open to anyone?
Open to anyone.
Okay.
hmm but I would like that to expand out. I just think there's a lot of folks who don't understand everything that goes into breast cancer. They think a double mastectomy is like it used to be, right, in the 60s and 70s, where they completely hack you. They don't. I just think there's people who are afraid of just getting a mammogram.
Yeah. I have a friend who had one a couple weeks ago, and she's like cussing in the text, right? All
Right.
caps, like, "That hurts so bad. Why do we do this?" Ah!
We need
This is
another
why.
conversation for that. That all
Right?
has to do with the patriarchy and the fact that,
Yes.
mhm. And everything that that's done to women is not always comfortable, as my daughter would say. But yeah, I'd like to expand that.
Okay.
I just think that there's more out there that could help women and men, because men can get breast cancer too.
Right, and that is so not talked about.
Not talked about at all.
Okay.
Yeah, men can get breast
And I
cancer.
can imagine for a man who has breast cancer, it's almost, from what I've heard, is that they get embarrassed
Yeah,
and they don't want to talk about it or share anything.
no,
And that should not be the case.
No, men, you have breasts. They're not as fabulous as ours, but you have them, okay? So,
I think we need some applause for that, right?
yes, men have boobs too. Yes, yes. So, to put the two of us together.
Okay, so, all right, so Malta,
Malta.
jumping out of a plane.
perfectly good plane.
Excellent.
Spreading the word about breast cancer.
Okay.
One
more?
Maybe doing more in theater, like getting paid to be in a role or something like that.
That would be a fabulous thing.
Yeah, I'm
wouldn't it?
auditioning for some stuff coming up.
Okay.
So, trying to think what else. I think the last thing, to see both my kids be successful in what they love.
Mhm.
If I could go magic wand, if I had a Harry Potter wand and I go ting ting,
Right.
just for both of them to be able to do what they want to do.
Right. And your son is looking for an internship.
He's looking for an internship. Hi, which camera? He's looking for an internship, radio, television. He runs his own. He has his own radio show at Grand Valley, and it's amazing. I listen to him at sports.
Awesome.
But that's what he wants to go into. I mean, he's got the face and the mannerisms to be in front of a camera. But I think he just, radio or TV, if he
Awesome.
could just find that role and then grow, Mama would be good.
Right.
And then for my daughter, she's pre-law. So
Okay. Oh.
she's going to change the world because it needs some help right now.
Yes.
Oh, yes. So having them happy and settled.
All right.
And then grandbabies somewhere down the line.
Somewhere down the line. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, girl.
Oh,
You're
my
going to get it all.
Yes.
All right. You're going to get it all. And the show. Okay. Let's talk about the show. We have to circle back to
Oh, yes.
that.
Okay.
Okay. So it is this coming weekend.
It's this coming Friday and Saturday, 8
2
p.m.
shows only.
2 shows only. It's that good.
It is.
You only
it is
get two.
yeah.
And it's with the Theater Arts Club of Detroit. And we are performing at the Players Playhouse, which is on Jefferson in Detroit, which is this amazing theater, men's only club. And it looks like a little castle inside. I'm looking forward to performing on their stage. I never have.
Okay.
But you have to get tickets ahead of time.
Okay.
There is
no
no
walking.
walking up.
Okay.
No.
So how do people do that?
They go to www.theaterartsclub.com and follow the prompts. And you purchase your tickets there, and they'll ask if you know someone who's there. So if you want
Do
to
they
be
mean
sat, if you want to
oh,
be sat with
is it
people,
cabaret style?
yeah,
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
yeah, it
Love
is.
cabaret
You
style.
can bring your own snacks so if you want to, but please don't bring
about
bags of Doritos, so
oh,
I don't
yeah.
have to hear.
During all those somber moments.
Yeah,
right?
could you imagine someone opens up a bag of Doritos, pop, right when we're all crying?
It's happened. It's happened before.
Yeah, but you can bring your own snacks. They're
Okay.
going to have a wine bar.
Can you bring your own coffee?
Yes.
Awesome.
You can bring, if you need to be caffeinated
Always.
to go through our conversations, then yes.
To watch your conversations.
To watch our conversations, then please bring your coffee.
Okay.
But yeah, it's theaterartsclub.com.
All right.
And
awesome.
tickets are $30 for adults. And if you're a student, the low price of $15.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
They get discount.
And you know, like I said, this show is amazing. It will touch you. You will cry. You will laugh.
You will laugh.
And you will think of all those special women in your life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, all those special relationships that need to be nurtured and watered, much like Ian McPlant.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so hold
He's
on.
already looking better, by the way.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah.
Girl, these are for you.
Why?
Just because you're an inspiration to all of us.
Thank you.
And I've always appreciated everything you've done for me and just sharing your conversation. And the show is amazing. And I just I'm so
Thank
excited.
you.
So
That's
so
sweet.
here, look, they're still alive.
They're alive and they will stay
and
that
they
way
will
because
stay
I will water them.
Exactly.
You will cut these on an angle.
Okay, thanks, man.
Yeah,
Thanks.
man.
So Danica, she is coming up from the Michigan Blood Bank. So she's going to come up and you're going to scoot down.
I'm going to scoot.
All right, you're scooting down. Danica is coming up, and we are going to do this. Okay, Danica, hi.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for coming.
I'm so happy to be here.
Okay, so you are from Michigan Blood Collection.
Yes.
Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know what that is, tell us what
Absolutely.
it is.
So Michigan Blood Collection is an organization. We were established back in pandemic time because there was a need for blood collection for research purposes. So that's what I work on, establishing relationships throughout the community. We have a really great donorship and we collect blood specimens for research, multitude of different things from pharmaceuticals, treatments, and therapeutics. Yeah, absolutely.
So how does somebody get in, there's a lot of, I don't want to say controversy, but people do say, oh, well, I don't want my blood to be used for research.
Absolutely.
I'd rather give it to go to somebody who needs it.
Yeah. And we strongly believe that there is many venues in which people can donate blood. You can donate whole blood, which we collect every 56 days, every 8 weeks. So we have a lot of folks that still go to the American Red Cross very, ritually as they could donate plasma and things of that nature. We just ask that they track for our purposes as well, being the research backed. And we are kind of, now established within the local community. We're based out of Novi, so we have a lot of good connections in the community. But yeah, we understand that there's the stipulation of people not wanting to donate blood for research purposes because there is maybe a taboo that they've heard of in the past, or there's always such a need for it that you hear through other organizations such as the American Red Cross or Versity that are very well established and always communicating that. But there's a need for all of, across the platform.
Plenty of blood, right?
Yeah, well, and it's a therapeutic thing to actually donate blood. It's regenerative. You burn 650 calories when doing so.
How often can we get?
Every 8 weeks.
I'm
for
down.
Full blood. Yep.
Yeah.
600 calories. Really?
Yeah. That's one of the selling
Did you know
points that we
I did
use
that.
when we partner with gyms. So we won't allow, or fitness centers, we won't allow
Right.
people to work out prior to or after the donation, but you burn the calories while you're sitting in the chair donating. Yeah.
Interesting. That is so. Okay, so you mentioned gyms.
Yeah.
So you partner with different
Yeah.
companies, right, or organizations?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been with Michigan Blood Collection for almost a year and a half now. And the biggest part of my role is creating connections within the community. So we've worked with the Novi Chamber of Commerce, which is a great partner for us to establish those connections. But yeah, we've worked with different retail outlets. We've worked with even dispensaries. We've worked with some real estate, some insurance companies.
How about podcasts? Have you worked with podcasts
We
before?
haven't, but we're so
Really?
excited to break through
Well, here
today.
we go.
Yes.
Can we get the needles,
Yes,
please?
exactly.
I just
We've got a
donate
nurse
now.
here already.
Right?
I don't know if you've ever done a long draft, phlebotomy, but we're always looking for
Hey, I
per
can help.
diem help. Yes.
I can come help.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Well, see, you got a job.
There we go.
Yeah,
A little
another
side
job,
gig.
a little
That's-
side
I was going to
hustle.
donate my blood for cancer research, but hey, whatever you
we
need.
could, yeah, it can be a dual.
There we go.
dual
I'm
cause.
here. Take it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I know that when people donate, they actually get something in return
Yes.
too, right?
So the fact that we are for research, we are for profit. So we have the ability to give people a $50 gift card for their successful donation
So
for their
losing
time.
calories and a
Yeah.
gift card.
So you can go shopping.
Yeah,
I
see?
mean,
Yeah, a lot of
Win-win.
benefits. And some of those are translated into, working with those retail outlets or specific organizations or even nonprofits, 501c3s, where you might have your group host a blood drive, and we would essentially, you would donate your gift cards back, and we would purchase those and then cut a check to the organization
Oh,
as
okay.
a donation,
Right.
like a philanthropic venture.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you get into this?
Well, interestingly enough, I took a very large pivot during COVID. I was previously in the restaurant industry. So hospitality is my background.
Okay.
And so I took some time. I have a small child. She's 4 now. And at that like 2.5 year mark, I said, I've got to have multiple purposes in my
Gotta
life.
get out of the house.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So, ironically enough, it just worked out. It was in the cards. And yeah, I've learned so much since I've been with them. I'm a very artistic, creative thinking person. This is very science. So I've opened me up to new opportunities.
Interesting.
And yeah, it's
So
been
left
really,
brain, right brain, kind of
yeah,
switching around.
it's
and-
been really fun. And I work with a great group of people. So that helps
Yeah.
a lot too.
Mhm.
Yeah, where's your little? I was expecting to see
yeah,
Wendy. Right?
Wendy. Yeah,
Yes.
she's they're in the office today. So
Okay. Hi,
yeah.
Wendy. Hi, Wendy.
Miss you.
Okay, so how can people sign up to donate?
Yeah, so we have always 2 established drives at our office in Novi once a month, or on a Monday or a Friday each month. And we're looking to expand those, but we also, like I said, partner with organizations throughout the community. So if anybody is interested, I will leave my information as well. But yeah, we have a website, www.michiganbloodcollection.com.
And your website is pretty interesting because it does break down like the different research projects,
Yep.
right? And the different diseases,
Yep.
and even talks about caregivers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really
Yeah,
nice
it's-
website with a lot of information.
And I think the last time I was here, you had updated your website. We're working through that currently
Yes.
as well, to kind of split those two things from the normal, healthy donor state to the disease state. So those will
Okay.
have different
So those will
avenues,
have
but
different. Okay. All right. So I asked Lisa, I'm going to ask you the same thing.
yeah.
Okay. So if you could have coffee with your younger self, what would you say to her?
I would tell her comparison is the thief of joy. And I think I've read this. I think it's Rachel Hollis who said this, is that other people's opinion of you is none of your business.
Yeah.
And if I
Oh.
knew that, like you said, in your 30s, and now I'm in my 40s, it's growing every day, is to just
Say that one more time.
that other people's opinions of you is none of your business.
Yeah.
So kind of mind your business. Don't worry about what other people are saying. Block out the noise and
Right.
focus on what's important to you.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
yeah.
Okay. But I'm like, wow, that's
That
There's
stuck
a
with me.
something,
So
right?
yeah, it is.
There's a
It's-
theme.
Have you heard that before?
I have. Because,
Okay.
who doesn't go on TikTok and Instagram and doom scroll or whatever you call it? But I see that a lot. And I'm like, if we as women only actually did that
Mhm.
starting in our 20s,
Yeah, exactly.
how much more evolved and calm and chill we would be in our 40s and 50s.
I think Gen Z's onto something. So hopefully these words of wisdom stick with
This
them.
younger
in a much
generation is
bigger
going to save
platform.
us all. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, one more. What is on your bucket list?
Bucket list. Well, as I mentioned, having a young daughter, I think enriching her life as much as possible through travel, experiential things.
Adventures?
Yes, absolutely. My
Yes.
parents did that a lot with me and my brother. So I think that that's something that's in the cards for us. I'm not probably going to jump out of any
No,
perfectly
you're not
good
coming with
airplanes.
us?
Right now, I'm kind
Come
of afraid
on,
to get
it'll
on
be
an
fun.
airplane.
We can donate
Force and
blood.
travel. So
I would do.
yeah, it could
It
be
could be a whole thing.
a triple threat.
Yes.
And I think that's the big one. That's my main focus. That's what I work for right now, is to really just be a really checked in mom and partner. And yeah.
How hard is it though? It's super hard, right? To be completely present all the time.
Yeah.
I have to it's like, okay, put your phone away, focus when they're telling you something, but
Yeah.
you're looking at the time, hoping, if you've got to take a phone call, return an email, it is so hard to be present.
Yeah. I really tried to put my phone away in the time that we get in the evening after work before bedtime. It's very specific. It's really, try to be actionable in that way just to let her know that she's the most important person at that time.
Right.
Mhm.
And always, but there's other things that are going to come up. And
Right, for sure. Okay, so when you get home from work, you put your phone away?
for a good part of the time, yeah. From
for
about
you.
5:30 to
That's
8.
why you never return my messages. No, I'm just kidding.
I try to live by that 24-hour rule, if not within those hours, but I
I'm
try to
just
be
teasing.
prompt.
Okay, and Lisa, you have older kids.
I
but
do.
How are you present with them?
Well, because they're both living at college right now,
for sure.
it's a lot of texting
Okay.
and a lot of picking up the phone. It depends which kid. One texts me more than the other, so I have to call the opposite one. But I remember when they were. How old's your daughter?
4.
Oh my goodness! So she's just a cute little tiny
Oh,
tot.
she's feisty.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
So then, and I will tell you as a mother of a soon to be 20 and 22-year-old, to you embrace every moment because she's in the squishy phase where she still wants, it's a squishy phase,
Mhm.
where she still wants the love and the snuggles. And then
Okay.
she'll get to be a little sassafras, right?
Mhm.
And then even in high school, when you're like, who is this demon and how are you mine? Like they still want to be part of your life and it never stops. So when my kids come home, if I'm doing this, I get called screenager a lot.
Love it.
So
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah, so
it's
I
funny.
have
The twins call me phone monster.
yeah,
They're like,
yeah.
okay, phone
Wow.
monster, put it down.
But it never ends. They still want your attention. Like, when they call, I throw everything else down. I go, okay. Like everything else is muted because I want to hear every moment.
Yeah, you don't want to miss a
And
thing.
yeah, it's just they just want you differently.
Mhm.
They want to tell you when they get to be older all the successes they're having. Or, holy cow, mom, I really need groceries. Like I'm down to my last couple bucks. Can you, ship me some groceries? Okay. So I do that a lot for my son, the grocery mom. But enjoy every moment.
Oh, I'm trying to so much.
Even when they drive you crazy.
Yeah, it's
Enjoy
tough
every
sometimes.
moment because you'll miss it.
Mhm.
I miss going to cross country meets.
Mm.
I miss going to my kids' theater stuff. I miss softball with my daughter. And in the moment, though, I was like, oh my gosh.
It's like another activity. Are we there? Yes. I was on the
know?
pool deck last week and I was like, really? A 6-hour swim meet? Are you kidding?
Wow.
Yeah, but they're so fun.
They were.
Yeah.
And you know what? I had the greatest time. And it was so funny at the end. I was on the pool deck with Carson and he actually said, you know what? It was great that you were there. Thank you. Thanks for being on the pool deck. I thought
They
he would be
noticed.
embarrassed.
Recognize that.
Yeah.
They notice
Yeah.
everything.
So that was good. So 4 13-year-olds.
20 and 22 this year.
Okay. See?
Yeah.
The spectrum of it.
Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So if you had a piece of advice that you would want your daughter to know, what would it be?
Don't be afraid to be your authentic self.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that imposter syndrome and that kind of stuff stuck with me a lot through my adolescence and even up through my early adulthood and formative time. So yeah, I think that's what I would and continue to talk to her about. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Danica.
Thank you
I
for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Okay.
Thank
We
you.
are literally going to actually take a break right now, I think.
Oh.
We're actually going to do it. Dean will be so proud of me. Are we doing it? We're doing it.
Doing it.
Hey, has this been your podcast studio experience? Has the location been less than favorable?
No. I can't do this.
Come to Every Media, where quality matters, located in Royal Oak, Michigan. Visit every.media.
Welcome back to the Every
That's
Woman Show.
EVRY.media.
Here at Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen, we have so much fun. But not only fun, there's networking, and there have been 12 collaborations that have happened from people who have actually been networking at the show. So whether you're a potential guest and you have a topic you really want to talk about, or a potential sponsor, and just a quick word about that. Our sponsorships, we look at them as partnerships and collaborations, and we have so much fun, and we have so much coffee, as you can imagine. You can DM me on social media, or you can reach out at hello@brookeallencommunications.com. We'll see you soon. Okay, we are back, and we have another guest. I love this couch. Is this couch not the most awesome thing?
It
just,
is.
Just scoot down, man. Just scoot down. I'm with Denise, and Denise, you are an educator from the Poison Control Center,
Right.
From
So-
Wayne State.
Right. So I am the educator at the Michigan Poison and Drug Information Center. We're called Poison Center Educators. And yeah, so
This is a big week.
This is a big week. This is National Poison Prevention Week. So if you haven't been following us on social media or on our webpage, can I plug my
Of
webpage?
course,
Okay.
please.
So www.mipoisonhelp.org. I don't know if you can get a shot of that,
Probably.
but everything is right there.
Okay.
And so we are at Wayne State University School of Medicine. We have been there since August of 2019. And before that, we were with another organization since 1958. So we've been
Wow.
operating since 1958 and just progressing and moving forward.
And we've heard, I was researching this morning and late last night, like all the different things that people can accidentally consume, right? I mean, houseplants and animals who eat something they're not supposed to, and then you take the wrong medication or you double dose because you've forgotten that you've already taken it. There's so many issues that happen, and you guys are really literally just a phone call away.
Right. Right. So we recommend that everybody has the Poison Helpline programmed into their phone contacts. So if you haven't done that, it's 1-800-222-1222. And that's a national number. So no matter where you're at in the U.S., whether you're here in Michigan, you're going to get our poison center if you're here in Michigan. But no matter where you're at, you're going to get your regional poison center.
And that's 24/7.
24/7. And it's professionals on the other line, at the other end of the line. So it's always going to be a physician, a pharmacist, and a nurse first. And then they actually practice on the job to become certified specialists in poison information.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. So what are the most common phone calls that you guys get?
Sure. The most common calls that we get, if I had to put them in order, particularly here in Michigan, number one is going to be analgesics. So these are your pain medications like acetaminophen, ibuprofen, aspirin. That's right up at the top of the list. And then we have household cleaning products. It may also be cosmetics like personal things, maybe soap, shampoo.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. And then also other medications like antidepressants, antihistamines, cold medications, as well as some other prescription medications.
So is it things interacting, or that they've taken too much, or is it just a combination of what they're calling and needing help with?
It could be anything. So if you ever doubt, or even if you have any questions regarding something that, a child or an adult or somebody may have gotten into, just give us a call, because remember, there are always medical professionals that you're going to speak with, and they're going to walk you through everything and see if this is something that you need to be concerned about. It could be an adverse reaction to a medication, but it may also be an interaction, and it may also be that you took too much or perhaps overdosed on a medication.
And I know supplements sometimes, right? We all love those supplements, right? I love the collagen, but things can interact.
Yes. So there can be interactions with medications and foods, as well as certain supplements, and of course, other medications and other things that you might not even think about.
Right. Okay. So what about, so the most common calls, and what is, as far as the age range of these calls I'm not even asking this right. I have it in my head, but are they teenagers? Are they young kids, like 4-year-olds, like Danica's daughter, or what's the age?
So when we're looking at ages, the vast majority of calls that we get at a poison center, and this is not just here in Michigan, but across the nation, over 40% of those calls are going to be in children between, really, the majority are 2 and 3, but 0 to 5 years are where we see the majority of calls. But then the reasons change. So as a child gets older, when they go into school, they're not going to be at home. The majority of poisoning exposures actually happen in a residence. So it makes sense that when kids start school, that
They go
they're
down.
not right. So
Okay.
they're not going to be exposed to whatever it might be that they would find in the home, whether it's a medication, whether it's a chemical, whatever it might be. They're in a more controlled environment in the school. So we see the numbers drop off between 6 until they get into their teens. And then, of course, when they're in middle school and they're in teen years, then we see the reasons change. And of course, the substances change.
Okay, so that being said, right now, my kids, they're 13. I know one kid was caught vaping at the middle school, because they have alarms, right, that go off. So that was an issue at one point. I haven't really heard them say anything, and in full disclosure, I haven't really asked them. Like, hey, do you hear kids talk about drugs or pills or anything like that? I mean, But at what age should we start being aware of that and having that conversation?
As far as poison prevention awareness goes, I believe that children should begin to learn that, and I believe that other poison center educators would believe the same thing. As soon as they begin to understand, what not to touch and what is safe,
Mhm.
that's when they really need to be taught, because they need to understand as soon as possible that they should only be taking things from an adult that they know and trust.
Mhm.
That's a big message that we try to convey.
Okay.
So it needs to be an adult that they know and trust. But when we're looking at those particular substances like vaping
Mhm.
and other things that might cause them harm,
Mhm.
whether it's immediate or whether it's later on, we really need to start educating them honestly in elementary school or whenever you begin to see it. I've had conversations with people out in the community where they're seeing this in 8 and 9 year olds.
Wow.
So they're bringing these different apparatuses into the classroom
Mhm.
that look like anything else. It might look like a cartoon character. It might look like a pen. It might look like just a normal everyday item, and it's actually a vape pen.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is, there's so much to worry about, really, right? And to be conscious of and to really talk to them about.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay, so your bucket list.
My
Tell me,
bucket list.
what's on your bucket list?
Well, I have something coming up pretty soon.
Oh, what is it?
In the summertime, we're actually going to go to Hawaii, so I haven't been there yet.
Okay.
So that's a nice trip. But I would love to go to France and just go to the countryside
Hmm.
and do a, food exploration
Nice.
tour.
Very
All the
nice.
French foods. Yeah.
Okay, and I asked these in reverse, but
Mhm.
if you had coffee with your younger self, what would you say to her?
Okay. If I had coffee with my younger self, I would say, do exactly what it is that you want to do and
Mhm.
don't let things hold you back from that.
Yes. Love it. High five, girl. Okay, we're bringing Yvette on. Yvette just came back from Vegas. She is our caffeinated act of kindness this month. We're scooting down. Thank you so much, Denise.
And
you're
moving
welcome.
Hi,
on.
girl. All right. So, of course, welcome back.
Thank you.
How was Vegas?
Oh, it was so much fun. Cold, but fun.
Really?
Oh, yes.
I never
It
think
was
of
cold.
Vegas as cold.
No, me neither. But they were it's like, yeah, this is our
Mhm.
winter.
Okay.
I'm like, no.
I know, right? You
warm.
wanted warm,
I
right?
wanted to go in the pool. I wanted to enjoy myself. No, but that's okay.
Okay, so you are our nonprofit of the month,
Yes.
and you are all about canines and
Yes.
raising awareness and helping them
Yes.
throughout Michigan. You went to Vegas
Mhm.
because there was a canine convention, right?
Yes, the Police Canine Convention.
Okay.
There was a mixture of service animals, personal protection.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't realize how big the personal protection agency was.
Okay.
And police canines. There was police canines from officers from over 300 departments in that
Really?
area. Yes.
Anyone from Michigan?
Yes, there was.
Oh, very
Yeah,
nice.
from Sterling Heights.
Okay, very
so, yes,
cool.
we
That
got
is
to talk to them
awesome.
and be with them. So that was
Okay.
kind of interesting.
Awesome.
So,
And then I noticed you have, is that your phone?
no,
What is that?
this is what's called a guardian angel. We've seen these before, and we've been wanting to get involved with helping officers get those. It is a protective light for it's based on personal usage, what an officer would use.
Okay.
And what they would do is they would put that on their vest, and they would kind of put it on. So when they're out on the road, they would do certain things with it. So they'd put on a light, a beacon light,
Mm-hmm.
or a bright light, depending on what it is. And then they'd have flashing on it. So depending on what particular thing they would have, it'd be a protection thing for them on the road.
Is this just for canine officers
It
or
could
for
be
any
for
officer?
any officer here
Okay.
that they would be allowed to do.
So this is something
So-
that's not standard issue?
No, this is something that they would buy.
Okay.
We happened to win this.
Really?
So that, because we were interested in purchasing these for some of the officers. And this is one of the elite ones. These are about $140
Okay.
that they would have to purchase out of pocket. So we were talking to the Guardian Angel distributor, and they're going to work with us as a nonprofit to help give a
Oh, that is
discount and
so
everything
awesome.
for the officers.
That is great.
And then they have a list of officers that have put in for to see if they could get a grant
Mhm.
for these. So they're
Okay.
checking for the ones in Michigan.
Nice.
And they're going to be giving us a call and see which ones we can help. Because it's a personal preference for the officers. Like we said, we try to buy equipment for the officers that they will use and not just throw in a drawer. And this is as they're on the road. A lot of rural departments use it too because the flashers, the blinkers, when they're out on the road, it'll bring attention to the officers that are here. So and then they have an infrared that will pick up with the drones. So when they're out tracking, especially with the canine officers, when they're out tracking in the woods and everything like that, the infrared will pick up with the drones that they're out there picking it up and everything. So
that is amazing.
So we happened to win this. We were lucky.
So you won this.
So we're going to go to some of the training groups in the next couple days and show them what we have for the canine training groups and say, hey, this is what we want. One, are you interested in getting these? And put that out there for them.
So you have your big bowling fundraiser coming up.
Yes.
How's it looking?
April 12th.
I see the sponsors keep rolling in, man. That's awesome.
April 12th at Bowl 1. The baskets are going to be amazing. The baskets. And then we're also having Adopt a Duck. They're police duckies. And then you can adopt a duck and you get gift cards from that. We have a whole, there's 6 military baskets that we're raffling off too, all the branches. So the baskets, and just come and have fun. It's all a family fun event.
Yes.
And then, like I said, we're going to have possibly 2 Warren canines there to meet and greet. And
what
have
are their
fun.
names? Tell me.
Well, it depends on which ones they come. I mean, because
is it a day off for them, or is it a?
They may be working.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
So that's the thing. They have 6 of them.
Okay.
So it depends on whatever one they deploy to that area, because it's like the borderline right there, Warren, Troy, that area. Okay. So, or if it's the day off, they'll come and visit.
Nice. So okay. So this is April
12th.
Okay.
Check-ins at 12:30, and we start bowling from 1 to 3. You get pizza, pop, and just.
And the best thing is it raises money.
All the money goes towards the canines. Yes, all the money, anything that we earn there, and then we'll have our swag to sell, and all that money goes all towards the canines and anything that they need to be purchased.
Because if you didn't know, a lot of people didn't, I didn't realize this, is that the canine officers have to actually pay for a lot of the stuff for their
out of pocket for
their canine.
Right. Any type of equipment they have to pay. They're given the dog and the food and the car and say that's yours. I equate it to a lot like a teacher. Mm-hmm. So any extra out of pocket expense, the reward toys, extra equipment for the vehicle, that comes all out of their pocket.
Wow.
So, and that's what we, as my husband and I, as our charity, we try to pick up. Even their ballistic vests that they have to purchase for the dogs, they have to pay for that. So, find charities to
right. Isn't that interesting? I mean, it's something you'd never realize.
No, you would think that the station would pick that
or the
up,
department,
the city.
No, so some departments do. Right. Some are budgeted.
Right.
But some are.
Budgets are tight.
Yes, it is. They're very tight.
And that's where you and your husband come
in. And that's what we come up to.
Okay, give me your website.
So it's forthepaws.org. So, and then we're on Facebook, Shine a Car for the Paws. So
okay, so people can donate there, register for the bowling fundraiser.
Yes.
Okay, I asked you this last week about the coffee with your younger self, so I'm going to ask you what's on your bucket list.
Well, one of them we're going on an Alaskan cruise in August, so that's one of ours. But one of our big one is to create a huge event of a meet and greet with the canines, and also incorporate it with the community to do even a giving back to the community, like a backpack giveaway or something to give back to all the kids that come and meet all the canines.
Kids are just enthralled, right? I mean, you see a canine, they're so majestic anyway.
Yeah.
And you know they're working, so you can't, you don't want to approach them, but they just have that mystique about them.
Right.
Right. And their handlers, it's just such an interesting dynamic.
Yes.
So thank you for doing this and raising this awareness, because I never would have known that was something that is needed.
Yeah, it is. It is, and we appreciate it. And it's all the nonprofits working together. If I wouldn't have got to know you through Advancing Macomb and working together,
it's a trickle-down effect.
Yeah, it is. And the grant that we got to buy the Shelby Township dog. I mean, so it's all the nonprofits working together and helping together to make it work. It takes a team to make it all work.
It does take a team. And thank you guys so much for being here. Okay, so Lisa?
Yeah.
Give me one word of empowerment.
One
Yep,
word
just
of
one word.
empowerment.
Yep, just one word.
Love.
Okay. Danica,
Tenacity.
Denise,
Work.
Yvette.
Work hard.
Strength.
Cheers to all those. Listen, ladies, thank you so much for joining me today. I know we had a little bit of technical difficulties, but you know what? Always a pleasure to see you. It is St. Patrick's Day.
Mm-hmm.
None of you are wearing green, by the way. Can I just say that? What is up with this? I'm the only one. Okay. Well, listen, be safe out there. We will see you next week.
Yes, definitely.
Denise, always a pleasure to see you. Danica, I'm going to sign up.
Thank you.
For
Me too.
And we're all about burning the calories.
Yeah. We have one
We're all about
Friday.
burning the
Yeah.
calories. And of course, Lisa, love you, girl. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I appreciate you. And you know what? We just got to keep it going and stay strong. And for our kids, whether it be son, daughters, right?
Right.
Happy traveling to Hawaii, Alaska.
Jealous.
Jealous
I
much,
guess
man.
we'll
I
get
am
together.
so jealous. On my bucket list, I will one day get to Paris. That is on my list.
Oh,
So
yes.
I'm doing it. We might jump out of a plane on the way out there.
There
but-
we go.
but we're,
While
but we're
giving
doing
blood.
it. Exactly,
Yes.
exactly. And again, Dean, thank you so much. Nick, and of course, Liz and everyone here on our team. Thank you so much. Have a great week. Like I always say, keep the coffee hot. We'll see you next week. Bye.